Vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. The choice is yours. All right, Joe Stalin. This is very Stalin-esque. In its own weird way, it is. The government decreeing this kind of thing. I don't like it, but let's bring in the experts. We've got Doug Weed, presidential historian, former advisor to President George H.W. Bush, and also Craig Shirley, the Reagan biographer. Gentlemen, welcome. This rubbed me the wrong way in a big way. Doug, what do you think?
It should.
Yeah, Uncle Joe. That's what they used to call Joe Stalin. Well, you just can't win. I mean, they were criticizing the governor of Florida, DeSantis, saying he was making the vaccines available in supermarkets, and that supermarket chain had given him a donation. So 60 Minutes, the pit bull dog who works for the left, the new communism of America, 60 Minutes, attacked him for that. And then you got Joe Biden on national television in the same, if you'd played it a little longer, bragging on the fact that you're only 30 minutes away from a vaccine. Look at what we've done. In 100 days, look at what we've done. And of course, you know, Greg, he said, there was no vaccine until I became president. Just, you don't call it a lie, because with Joe, you know there's something wrong with him, and it's a cognitive ability. So no one calls it a lie, but he won't correct it. CNN won't correct it. So, wow.
And by the way, what you just said, and I am not going to dispute it one bit, cognitive, I think it's totally, it's obvious. But, Craig, no one else is talking about it. We're seeing a man in decline. I don't know why you can't talk about that, why people are afraid to go there. But it's so obvious. It's staring us in the face. We have to go to foreign media to say it more clearly and directly. How long can this go on? This just can't last, can it?
It'll go on all 4 years, right up till the next election. This is what he's doing. What Joe Biden is doing, besides cheating in law school. I doubt he ever read the Constitution or read the 10 Amendments. But this is clearly a violation of the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. The government can't tell you that you have to wear something or you have to take something. It's ludicrous. They're just going to. There's something unnatural about Biden's bend toward government and power, but it's always, his solution is always more government programs, more government power, more government taxation, completely antithetical to what the Constitution is about, what the Revolution was about, and what some of our better presidents were about, which were leaning toward individual rights, individual freedom, dignity, privacy, and all those things that come with personal freedom.
So he does not have the power. That constitutional problem is very interesting.
Yes.
What he said yesterday and what he tweeted, those are political statements. I mean, we have to take a step back. This is his urging. He does not have the power to do that. So this is within the scope, Doug, a little bit, right?
Yeah, very much so. It's all political and it's emotional. And it's money, it's big business. I mean, the large monopolies and the large corporations have come out of this COVID crisis like gangbusters. You just had earlier on your show a discussion of restaurants, for example. Well, small businesses were forced to close. McDonald's didn't close. Costco didn't close. So the large corporations, some of which have Disney, for example, 40% of their income from China. These big corporations who have their own deals, they benefited from COVID because their competitors were shut down. They hated Donald Trump because he released the angels of small business by deregulating. That's what allowed the Ma and Pa donut shop to open up, or allowed the restaurant in New York City to open 3 or 4 new branches. And all of that was shut down by the monopolies. So it's driven by politics. And that's why I knew they're going to pull us kicking and screaming out of this mask thing. But it looks like they're going to have to. Now the parents are getting mad. So it looks like Biden's going to have to respond.
Hey, one thing, back to can this last for 4 years? I do want to play a clip from, this is an Australian commentator by the name of Alan Jones, and I think he's nailing it when it comes to things Biden. You don't hear much of this in America, though. Take a look.
Someone of significant note is going to have to tap this bloke on the shoulder and tell him he's got to go. The tragedy is the replacement is Kamala Harris, as big a disaster. Her own party didn't want her in the runoff for the Democratic nomination. She received 2% of the vote. If we don't think the free world is in a mess, we are bad students of the current international situation.
Current international system, Israel and domestically, the border, gas lines. I think he's onto something. I mean, like, they may be ignoring it in the mainstream media here, but we have seen these screw-ups from him. We've seen him fall down the steps 3 times. They pretend it's not happening, but Craig, it is happening.
It is. He's old. He's feeble. I don't think he's altogether there. He's being surrounded by sycophants and people, staff propping up and protecting him from himself. And it's bad, a bad omen for all of us for at least the next 2 years until the 2022 election, and possibly if Republicans retake control of the House, that they can stop a lot of this nonsense from going on again for the next 2 years.
All right. Final thoughts, Doug Weed?
Yeah, it's Jimmy Carter redo. You know, Trump famously said, no, Jimmy Carter inherited a lot of this, whereas Biden's caused it. But there's gas lines, there's inflation, there's weakness in the Middle East, the 300 and some million he gave Iran. They immediately give the money to the Palestinians who rain rockets down on Israel. It's a real mess, and it's his. He can't blame this on his predecessor. The only thing he can blame on Donald Trump is he got them the vaccine, which has made him look kind of good.
It's wild. The Trump vaccine. Yep, indeed. Gentlemen, I appreciate it so much. Doug Weed, Craig Shirley, to be continued. I'll be right back.
Craig.
The former president of the United States.
And, you know,